Yeah, I also think that a cool thing that we have at St. Mary's is our January term. We about 50% of our campus population travels during January term, so that's where I've seen a lot of performing arts students get the chance to study abroad. Because we don't, like, core classes and major classes aren't offered during January term, so you don't have to worry about like missing that. I studied abroad during January term this last year. I went to New York City, which was a pretty cool place to go for as a theater person. I got to see a lot of Broadway shows, which was a lot of fun. It was my first time seeing Broadway shows, and my roommate last year went to South Korea during January term, and so I think it's a great opportunity, and it allows everyone to be able to study abroad. And also, there are scholarships for travel during January term if you are interested in those, and those can cover up to 75% of the cost of a Jan term travel course.
Just to actually kind of go off of that, I also studied abroad for Jan term. I went to London and Paris, and I'm an art major, and I went on a science class when I studied abroad. So you can really just do, like, it's just a month, so you can take whatever discipline of a class you want and kind of make it fit. And then we had the opportunity on our trip to have a couple of free days. And so I was able to go to a bunch of different art museums and see so many different artists that I had been studying in my classes. And actually being able to like see their work in person was a really big experience for me. Also, I know that there is a Christian art Jan term that goes through Italy and France, and that specifically focuses on art and architecture, and so that's a really big option. And it specifically focuses in the arts. And then there's also like Sundance Film Festival. So there's a lot of places where you can get involved in the arts, but even if you don't want to, and you want to do something completely different, you can like re-immerse yourself just going back and forth.
Yeah, I did the completely different route. So Jan term, I went to Brazil, and I kind of took a step away from school in general. And it was a class for St. Mary's, but we were immersed in the Amazon jungle, and the forest, and we didn't have any cell service or any electronics with us. And we did community service there and worked with the community. So we do things like that. If you're looking to study abroad during an actual semester, for a full semester, I would say like really plan ahead. It's very doable at St. Mary's, especially if you get to the travel abroad department and you schedule an appointment and actually plan it out so that you know it's possible.
And also, just to offer my perspective from studying abroad, I traveled abroad for 2 Jan terms, my sophomore year and junior year. And my sophomore year, being a dance major, I had the opportunity to take a class called Rebel Artists in the Rebel City, which was in Cork, Ireland. And the class was completely structured on your own based on like your own art form. So being a dance major, I obviously chose my art form to be dance. And I got to take class a few times a week at the Firkin and Crane Center, which is one of the biggest centers for dance in Ireland. And that was a really awesome opportunity to get to work with modern dancers in Ireland and get to take forms of modern dance that I didn't even know existed. And at the end of the month, I actually got to create a piece and show it to the Cork community and get feedback on it.
I would just quickly, I would add to the theater, as a member of the theater program, a lot of our students have, I don't think it's an official partnership set up, but a lot of our students have gone abroad to London and studied at Queen Mary University. So I think sometimes these kind of like quasi partnerships evolve kind of organically, like a student goes abroad to a particular program and has a great experience and then tells other students, and then they in subsequent years kind of create this sort of like continuing pipeline to that program. So Queen Mary University in London is one that a number of students go to year after year. And we've also kind of figured out how the courses there map onto courses at St. Mary's so that the transfer of credits is quite smooth. And obviously London is a wonderful theatrical center of theatrical activity. But as the students have mentioned, really in terms of like the abroad experience, it's more kind of individual. It's up to the student to kind of figure or to determine like what would be most enriching for them. And it needn't necessarily have anything to do with, you know, I mean, if you're a theater student, a major or minor, maybe you go, a student last year went to Japan more out of an interest with her other major and not so much the theater major.